Good morning, this is Dr. Cooper, and this is a podcast for the ENG 102 CRE 101 Learning Community. Today's podcast is the Week 3, Session 3 podcast. It's Friday morning, coming to you just a little bit late, but a couple of things that I've noticed some of you are not working on, so I want to get in here and talk about it. So we're in Week 3, and these are all of the things that you're working on. Now, one of the things that I think you're missing is that your textbook for English 101 is an online textbook. And what that means is that when I assign reading for you, it's in an online textbook and you have to actually go over to the online textbook to read it. Okay? So right here was a link for you to go over into chapter 2 for a post-test in Connect. So you can click this link, which will take you right over to the page. This page. And then you will see your class. And when you go into your class in Connect, you will see that we have 4 weeks of work. So for week 1, you did some standard reading with chapter 1 reading exercises. Well, many of you did not bother to do that chapter 1 reading exercises. So you lost points. You got 0. Then in week 2, you were to do a chapter 2 pretest. Again, many of you just ignored that, didn't do it. Then you have chapter 2 reading, which is a smart book. So there's lots of engagement going on with this smart book. As you can see, that chapter 2 is still open till February 7th, so next Friday. So you can go in and still read that, but you have to do the pretest first. Then in week 3, which is this week, you were to do the post-test by today. So obviously if you haven't done the reading, it's going to be difficult for you to do a post-test and to do well if you haven't done the reading yet. Also, we started chapter 3. It won't be due until next week as well. So you need to make sure that you're making a habit of coming over into Connect and clicking on the links to do your reading. So if I go back up to week 2 and click on chapter 2, I'll show you what happens. First off, I can quickly see that only 2 of you have submitted this assignment. 1 of you is still working on it, and the rest of you have not even bothered to start. That's not good. Let me give you an idea of what this looks like. Okay, so it'll load up the content, and then you'll see that you are in Chapter 1, Critical Thinking and the Art of Questioning. And Chapter 2 is what you should be working on. So you can come down here and click on Chapter 2. You can also see that Chapter 3 is assigned and the due date is listed there for you and your progress, 0. Here you can see that the progress of this test student is 29%. This assignment is worth 30 points. So if I'm ready to get started, I go ahead and click Start Learning. And now I can see chapter 2 over here on the right. I can see just a preview of all of the chapters I'm going to read. And if I want to start reading, I click Start Reading or click Read. And here's the chapter. So highlighting tells you that this section is highlighted because it contains topics that are essentially important to you. So as you read the highlighted sections, you can skip sometimes the part that's not highlighted. And if there's any part of the book that you want to read that's grayed out, all you have to do is click it and it will then darken so that you can read it. It's just not highlighted because it's not as important as the highlighted material. Okay, so to go to the next page that I'm reading, I just click this arrow here and it takes me to the next page. And it skips all the way to the bottom because only this part is the most critical part of reading that I need. So I'll read this part and then click to the next part. Okay, and then I read. Now at any point I can practice. So I click the practice button and what it'll do is give me questions to practice what I'm learning. Okay, so which of the following is an example of reading critically? I have to read all of the items here. Slow, repeated reading to retain specialized information. Okay, reading, skimming to find bits of information, reading a novel to gain pleasure, following an author's train of thought. And if I'm just guessing, I can say, I'm unsure what the answer is. And I hit that, and of course, I got it wrong. I missed it on purpose. And it tells you that it's wrong. But then it does this. Where was I supposed to read about this answer? So I click on that, and it takes me back to the textbook so that I can then read that part of the textbook again to understand this question better. Okay, so I say okay, and then it gives me another question. So you can go back and forth between reading and practice. Okay, but remember, you have to practice in order for this percentage to change. And then over here just gives you some options of things that you can do. If you need to view the coach, that's the lady that helps you. You can click here. If you need help, you can click here. If you want to see your reports, you can click here. So it's downloading content. And now I can see my reports for the different topics that I've been reading. Okay, and then I can always go back to preview and to read if I need to. Okay, so that's it. So many of you are skipping this opportunity to read your fancy-dancy free online textbook, and you're losing points. I'm going to be putting grades into Connect soon today, and many of you are going to be getting zeros. So make sure that you mosey on over to Connect and make sure that you are looking in the folders and doing your homework there. So weeks 2, 3, and 4 have content in it for you to do. And 4, remember, is for next week. Now back to Diigo. This is our group in Diigo. All you had to do was join the group, and only, let's see, Enrique, we got Cameron here because he's got a picture. Ruben, DeMarcus, Raymond, Cindy, oh, that's your teacher. Enrico, I don't know who that is. And Tanya is over here, and one last person, Norma. They're all here. Not everyone has posted links yet, but here you go. So I posted a video already for you to do this assignment. It's a pretty easy assignment. All you're doing is finding 5 websites and posting them, making sure that you leave a comment as to why you posted that. So here you can see that Norma posted The Ugly Truth About Food Waste in America, and she says this is an interview by Ira Flato. Okay, and she tells us about this article. She also uses her tags: food waste, American wasteland, sustainability, freedom, people plus freedoms. These are all of the tags that she felt were appropriate for this assignment. So that's all you have to do is add to that assignment. So let's get going. A lot of you are missing out on some opportunities to do well in the class. You're picking and choosing things. So don't forget about your online textbook over in the book. I'll fix that link that didn't take me where I wanted it to right now, so you'll be able to see it. Okay, good luck, and I hope you finish your assignments, and I'll see you next week. If you have any questions, let me know.